This video is about site plan. The fence line, double fence line that is surrounding the floor plan is the wall fence. So that's the boundary of the plot. Then there is an entrance gate there. So that free space there that I'm touching there is the gate. So that's the entrance to the plot. This sketch was done by a client. You can see that the line of the boundary line, which is the fence, is at 90 degree. Most times, most plots are not always, the boundary of most plots are not always on 90 degree. Building on fence is not accepted according to building regulation. You can see that very building is tall with the veranda is built on the fence. It is not always advisable because it is against building regulation, and that can lead to demolition of that very building. So it's always advisable to have setbacks before the position of the building. Every building should have its own setbacks, whether it's a gatehouse, whether it's for store or whatever it is. The minimal setbacks must be maintained. Whether the building is at the entrance, that's where the road is, then if it's along the road, or maybe the building is built on the fence at the back, it is not always advisable. So according to what this person did, he built the store on the fence. So what I'll have to do is to create setbacks, the minimal setbacks that are required based on what is going to be built there. Minimal setbacks that is required, I'm going to place that setbacks before positioning the building. So I'm just trying to sketch out to explain that the building is not supposed to be built on the fence. So that's the space that is required, that is supposed to be there. This is just a sketch, but when I want to draw it out, I'll have to give the actual measurement for the setbacks. So this is just a sketch representation of what I'm going to do. Now for the main floor plan, you can see that the main floor plan has the setbacks at the back and also at the sides. So the setbacks that is there for a residential building, the minimum setbacks, residential floor plan building, minimum setback should be 1.8 meter, which is 6 feet at the two sides. That side also should be 1.8 meter. Then at the back should be 1.8 meter. That's the minimum setbacks. Then from the road, for a floor plan residential building, for the road, the minimum setback should be 4.5 meter. I'm talking from Nigeria, Benin City. So for your own state, it might be higher or it might be lower, but I know that the minimum setback for a floor plan is 4.5 meter. So it depends on the minimum setbacks in your country. So you should know the value, the minimum setback that is required for a floor plan. So you use it to work on your setback. So it should not be less than the minimum setbacks. In a situation whereby the floor plan is bigger than the measurement of the plot, what you have to do is for you to make a reduction of your building. But when you are making your reduction, you should always consider the minimum measurement for each space. Let's say for a bedroom, let's say the size of the bed of a bedroom that I have here is 14 feet by 12 feet, which is 4.2 meter by 3.6 meter, and I can see that it's possible for me to make an adjustment. Then I can reduce the measurement of the various space of the spaces, so that the width or the length of the building can be reduced based on, your reduction is based on, after based on the, after you are done positioning your building, your site plan, you see that there is some of the space, the measurement is outside of the boundary, the building line of the plot line. You have to reduce it. That will determine the measurement that you are going to reduce from the building. But in a situation whereby it's not possible for you to reduce, then you have to redesign so that you can be able to position your building inside your plot. My survey plan is going to tell me the actual shape of the plot. So for this one, it's just a sketch of how the plot will look like, but this is not the actual shape of the plot. So that's why it's good to work with your site plan. But if you can be able to get it from with this very method by just drawing the actual size in horizontal vertical line of your boundary, then position it, then later, if after you have done with your drawing out your site, your boundary with the use of your survey plan, then you will know that okay, when you've positioned your building inside, then you can see there's little adjustment, then you make the adjustment on it. Then the offset from the road to the major floor plan, the main building, the minimum distance for the floor plan, the setbacks should be 4.5 meter. Minimum distance should be 4.5 meter. It should not be less than 4.5 meter, according to what I have explained before. Then the other thing you need to consider is from the block B building, that's the building that was placed on the fence. Now I've already positioned my offset for the store. So from the offset, after the offset, then the store building, from the back of the store building to the main building, which is the main building of the floor plan, then the distance there should also be considered. It should not be built too close to the other building. It also has its minimum distance. So the minimum distance should not be less than 3 meter. But according to the regulation of your town planning, the town planning regulation in your area, so that will determine the minimum distance that will be there. So there are cases that some places will place it at 1.8 meter or 6 feet, which is very wrong, which is too close to the existing building, the major building. So two buildings should not be too close to each other. The minimum distance should also be considered as well. Before you start drawing site plan, you should have knowledge of the minimum setbacks for a building. The setbacks that is required at the back of the building, setbacks that is required at the sides of the building, then the setbacks that is required from the road to the building. Then if there is a gatehouse, the setbacks that is required from the road to the gatehouse, the setbacks that is required at the two sides, at the sides, then the setbacks that is required at the back. Also, if you have two buildings on a plot, you should know the setbacks that is required between the two buildings, because you don't want a situation whereby two buildings are too close to each other, because if you do it that way, it won't be approved, because there is setbacks laws that is guiding two buildings on a plot. Building regulation should always be considered when drawing your site plan. It's very important. The setbacks, minimum setbacks that is required is very important. If it's more than the minimum setbacks, it's okay, it's fine. But it should not be less than the minimum setbacks, which will be very wrong. So setbacks is very important when it has to do with site plan drawing, and also your ability to be able to draw the boundary of your site plan with the use of your survey is very important. If you want me to make a video on that, comment down below. The angles that are present on your survey plan, that will determine the shape of your site plan. So for this very one, it was not considered, as I have explained before. So the shape of your site plan is also very important, so that you have an accurate drawing. And also when you are building at site, you will not have issue with readjusting your dimensions, so that will reduce your stress of doing that. So it's very important for you to have knowledge of that. If you actually want me to make a video on that, just comment down below. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe so that you get more content on various topics that has to do with building construction. You can see that there is a store present there. It's not that it's bad there is a store there, but it should not be built on the fence, which I've explained before. Another thing you also consider, because this very drawing is a residential building, there's a residential building inside, and now you can see that the size of the store that is present is very small. If it's going to be used for commercial purpose, it's only one store and there is no toilet there, then the people that will be using the store will have to go inside the main building to use the toilet, of which is not right, one. And number two, the next thing is the store is there is already an offset from the fence. If anybody wants to buy, because it's a residential building, the owner will not want to create the fence for visibility. Then the fence is going to be high. The only thing you can see there is just the only thing you can see is just the gate, and the gate, even with the gate, you cannot be able to see what's present inside the building. So it will not be okay for you to have a commercial building there, except it's just created for commercial purpose. Then there will be visibility from the road, so that whatever the person is doing, buying or selling, will be seen from the road. So for this one, it will not be possible to have a store there. Not that it's bad to have a store there, but it will be kind of disturbing the residential building that is there. So there will be a lot of issues there, except it's the owner that is going to be making use of the store. But even if it's the owner that is going to be using the store should not also be built to the fence according to building regulation. If the store is not built to the fence, then there will be a problem of making sales if that very store is used for commercial purpose. So there will be an issue, except the fence at that place will be built. The fence will be built kind of, it will be built inside, you understand? So it will be built inside. Then definitely there will not be, the store is no longer on the road, and actually is not built to the boundary, although it's built to the fence, to a fence, but the fence there should be very strong, but it's not built on the boundary, so it will be accepted that way if the owner want it stored there. But what most people usually do is that they do build on the fence, which is very, very wrong, very wrong. But I've explained how possible it will be